Well, well, well. What an interesting Monday Night Raw we had. Man. If for those of you who don't know, you're about to know. Welcome everybody to another Monday Night Raw review. Um, yeah. Yeah, we got a lot to go over, so I'm gonna try to make this not too quick, but quick enough so I can get everything in there in a timely manner. So, I know. Everybody is every at least wrestling or WWE fan is talking about the fact that Sasha Banks and Naomi did, and I want to get into it in a minute because you know what? Since we're going through it, I might as well get to the point and get to it when it actually happened, and just to let everybody know, this did happen during the show. Like when what Naomi and Sasha Banks did was not hours before the show. This was during the show, but it wasn't seen on camera. But to give you context, this had to happen between it probably started before the show, but this was going on up until when we seen Becky Lynch talking to Adam Pearce, because apparently, according to reports, it was like literally maybe like the reports indicates that it might have been like it was literally like 5 or 10 minutes before like that they had to switch things up, maybe more. I said maybe not 5 or 10 minutes. I said about 10 to 15, maybe 20 minutes when they had to scramble to try to change things around. But I'm gonna tell you why. Um, the first match, they started off with the first match of the night, which was Omos versus Bobby Lashley in a steel cage match. MVP cut a promo, basically, hyping up Omos and, just downplaying Bobby Lashley, once again mentioning his Bobby going to WrestleMania without him. Um, but then the match would get started. The match was a good match. I ain't gonna lie. This was the first time I could actually say that Omos, if it says his time with AJ Styles, that I could say, hey, you know what? This was an actually good to great match with Omos in it. So yeah, this was a good match. Um, it was a great way to start it off, but it was a good match. Bobby Lashley would win the match because Omos would throw Bobby Lashley through the cage. He would put him on his shoulders and he would just hoist him into the cage, and that particular cage wall just broke and landed on the outside. Bobby Lashley was laying on the cage, and then when he realized what happened, he just got off that piece of the cage and just stepped onto the ground. And that MVP was beside himself, realizing that Bobby Lashley just won the match. Omos just stood there, not, I don't know why, for some reason not trying to get out the cage. But that aside, the referee explained that even though it was a unique way to escape the cage, technically Bobby Lashley escaped the cage and both feet touched the ground. So therefore, they declared that Bobby Lashley was indeed the winner. We will move on to the next match of the night, which was supposed to be Austin Theory versus Mustafa Ali, but then Austin Theory would cut a promo saying that he didn't trust the referee, so he called the Miz down to be the special guest referee. Then he would reveal to Mustafa that, oh, now I came with good conscience, like give you this match because you pretty much lost. So your match, instead of you're not going to be facing me tonight, you're going to be facing Veer Mahan. So the match ended up really being Mustafa Ali versus Veer Mahan, with Veer basically, with Mustafa being the I guess you could say the person that got the most offense against Veer, which made the match okay. But Veer ended up winning in domination fashion. Um, yeah, I guess you could say Veer was this was the first time in I guess ever you could say that Veer actually had someone who actually could dominate him or get the more offense in. But I also wanted to note that by this time they've been promoting. They already promoted like, what was going on tonight, and they had announced. I forgot to say that at the beginning of the show, right before Omos and them got started, that it was supposed to be a 6-pack challenge as the main event, and that 6-pack challenge will involve Naomi and Sasha Banks, Naomi versus Sasha versus Doudrop versus Nikki versus Asuka versus Becky. The winner will face Bianca Belair at the elimination not elimination chamber at Hell in a Cell. So the reason why I bring this up because the next segment was Becky after this after Veer won his match. The next segment would be because it was so after the match is so Becky going up to Adam telling him the match can't start. Went to commercial break, came back. Becky is telling Adam that the reason why she keeps saying that the match can't start, you know, and Adam is trying to tell her something, but she wouldn't let him. She keeps saying all this different stuff why the match can't start, and then she eventually revealed that another reason why she's saying this is because she saw Sasha and Naomi leave the building, and then he finally stops her and tells her, I'm already on it, and we already came to a decision that it's going to be the main event now instead of going to be the 6-pack challenge. It's going to be Asuka versus Becky. The winner, and it still is the same. The winner will still face Bianca at Hell in a Cell. Now that we got into this point, let me tell you what's the real deal. Now, this is to let y'all know, this is not a work or a shoot. This is an actual, real, ongoing story. With the reason why they had to change it on the fly, because WWE even released a statement about it, so we know this is true. It's been massive reports for Fightful and everybody, PW Insight, everybody's reporting on this. So basically, what happened is that during the show, and they even talk about it, you know, which I'm gonna get to in a little bit later on. They had Corey Graves in there because after that little segment where Adam told Becky that Becky about her match with Asuka later on tonight, Corey was like, yeah, usually he said well no he didn't say that was the second time he mentioned it. First time he said Naomi and Sasha are professionals. They gotta be something more to the why they left the building. But we'll continue to develop on that story. But the real thing that's going down is that Sasha and Naomi basically were upset over what was going on. Like they was informed when they got to the building that they was going to be part of this 6-pack challenge for the main event, and that the winner would go on to face Bianca Belair at Hell in a Cell. And we was told, and according to the reports, we were told that the plans were that I guess not to have the two tag teams interact with each other. It was like Naomi and Sasha would only fight. And like Asuka and Becky and Nikki and Doudrop, they wouldn't fight each other. And same for Doudrop and Nikki, they wouldn't fight each other. They would only fight with Sasha and them, and then so on and so forth. And that Naomi was planned to win and go on to face Bianca at Hell in a Cell for the title. Now, according to the report, they was not okay with this. It was at first it was initially reported that they was uncomfortable with the match itself and two particular people in it, and that also they felt like they wasn't being respected as the tag team champions, and they had their concerns with the women's tag team division as a whole. So apparently, they walked into John Laurinaitis' office with titles in hand, laid it on his table, and told them that they felt they wasn't being respected as tag team champions and whatnot, and everything I just said. And then what they said, it was reported they had their suitcase with them, and they just, after they said all this stuff that I just said, they walked out. They walked off. Now this doesn't, now it's not being reported that that means they quit. They haven't quit, and it hasn't been reported that they was fired. So as of right now, they just left. This reminds me, the only other time I remember this happening was with Jillian Hall and Melina. Back in the day too. It was like back in 2008, maybe 2009, something around there. It was around that time, maybe 2010, something like that. It was around that time where it was a battle royal, and it was Jillian Hall and Melina was in the ring, and then one of them was supposed to be eliminated. Melina was supposed to be I know Jillian was supposed to be eliminated. Then Melina was supposed to be eliminated. Them being frustrated over the women's division, how the women's division was being treated back then, was they got mad, eliminated themselves, and then it was effectively that they was released from the company, that they quit. So this is the second time that this happened, and it's ironic that it was two women, just like the last time this happened, it was two women. And I also think it's ironic that Melina, that was her last match, and her first match after that back in WWE was another Battle Royal type match, or the Royal Rumble. But back to the subject at hand, and then it was updated that Sasha and did not have concerns over working with two people. They wanted to work. It was a concern about working with two in particular people, which the reports are saying was Becky and Asuka, but they said that wasn't the case. The case was that they was arguing with Vince over creatives, over them wanting to have a pay-per-view set up with Doudrop and Nikki for the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view, which Vince McMahon shot down, creative shot down. And they had these different pitches about it, and when nobody went back down from their stances on what they wanted, it's reported that's what the frustration was that led to them. But it's also been reported there's a lot more frustration, and that we're not hearing from, that a lot more stuff has happened. So I will continue to update you on that story. Now back to the program, and now that you got the gist of it. After that, so this was all part of the story with this Becky Lynch segment. Real quick now, we got to run through this because that was a long thing. That was a long time I just spent on that. The next match would be Riddle versus Jimmy Uso. Riddle would win that match, but it was supposed to be like a little build up to their match this Friday for the unification of the tag team title match. It was a good match in itself. I enjoyed it, and so far so good that this is up until this point. No match has really been bad. Even the Veer versus Mustafa was good. So up until this point, we still haven't had like a bad match. We did get I was about to say J-Day, Judgment Day promo where they just basically was cutting a promo about what Damian and Rhea cut the promos about what their part in this group is, and how they accepted the calling, the message that Edge was sending. Now Edge basically cut the promo saying the same thing, but this time saying that he extends the invitation not only to people in the locker room, but to us, the other universe, to not be sheep, and to listen to his calling and take life into your own hands, and ask a lightning bolt of electricity of energy to your lives, and follow them. And he even extended that invitation to AJ, Finn, and Liv Morgan. And with that, after that, there was a backstage segment where they interviewed Liv Morgan about her beef with Rhea, and then she would be contact. She would get in, then she would have a little talking with AJ and Finn, which they asked you to come out to ringside to help watch their back. This is done because on a live show, it was already done on a live show that Liv had basically joined the group, but that was a live show, so they had to do it officially on Raw to show that Liv is basically going to be part of the group. So that's what this part was, and with that leading to the next match, the Los Lotharios was backstage trying to kiss Liv Morgan. But this would lead them to the next match, which is Finn Balor and AJ Styles versus Los Lotharios. Now, as we know, Los Lotharios are SmackDown. Well, at least I guess they were SmackDown superstars, but now they didn't have the SmackDown graphics when they came out. They had Raw graphics. So either they really trying to slowly undo this whole barrier between the two shows and the split, or the Los Lotharios has been quietly moved to Raw, just like Lacey Evans. But the match itself was good. Finn Balor and AJ Styles got the victory, and at the end, Liv Morgan officially joined their group, making it 3 at least for at least now it's even with Edge and Damian and Rhea versus AJ, Finn, and Liv now. We would get the next match, which was Alexa Bliss versus Sonya Deville. They did a little promo package about last week. The thing here is Alexa got a new interest music now. She came back. She had her goddess music, the goddess Alexa Bliss interest music, with her Titantron having Lily, and this time she still had the same Titantron, but she got a pop, rock pop, upbeat new music now. But her and Sonya actually had a match this time instead of like a 2-minute match. That was the good thing about it. It was an actual match, and Sonya Deville actually tried to put up some fight, but she got beat in the end by Alexa Bliss. Cody Rhodes cut a promo next about Seth Rollins, saying that he thought he was done with Seth Rollins, but basically Seth Rollins was talking about how he took something from him, and he said he didn't take nothing from Seth, but then basically challenged Seth to a match at Hell in a Cell, and Seth Rollins would come on screen and accept that challenge. We will get the next match. Which is Ezekiel versus Chad Gable. After them trying to do the DNA test to find out the DNA test was corrupted due to the fact that he let Otis handle the DNA, and Otis accidentally got barbecue sauce mixed in with the DNA test, so it was corrupted. But it led into this match where Ezekiel had a good match with Chad Gable. It was a good match. I won't say it was the best match of the night, but it wasn't the worst. So I won't say it wasn't a great match. It was a funny little break into the action and lighten things up. But Ezekiel did get the win here. Lacey Evans came out and cut a promo, basically being an inspiration for everybody and for her daughters, and wanting to show, what it looks like when you get up and go to work, and be the best. And she said she might not be better than the women in the locker room, but she said the women ain't better than her, ain't no better than her either. And then we would get the main event that was advertised, and I would like to say that throughout after the whole announcement that Naomi and Sasha left, they for some reason had Corey Graves. Like for going from saying that they was professional, there got to be some explanation, to having him like run almost like they was purposely having him run them down, calling them unceremonious and unprofessional. Like I understand why these two ladies would do this. Basically, like almost like painting a bullseye on them, making them seem like they was villains. Because even in their statement, they were saying that WWE Monday Night Raw is a scripted show, and and our characters are our wrestlers, our characters that are expected to perform by their contract and all that type of good jazz. So it was like everything after it was announced was like to basically bash Sasha and Naomi for what they did, where we know there's more to the story. So that's what led us to here. Bianca Belair came to watch the match from ringside, and Asuka and Becky had a great match. They had a great match. As little as it was still great in itself. It's always great to see the Tajiri missed. Asuka would win. That's how Asuka would win when she after Becky Lynch tried to get herself try to get the disqualification by taunting Bianca and try to get Bianca to hit her and whatnot. She would use the distraction to try to hit Asuka with her own umbrella. What Asuka would hit her with the miss and buzzsaw kick and would win the match. Over and now she will be headed to Hell in a Cell to face Bianca Belair for the Raw Women's Championship. Overall, this was a major night in news, but it was also a major night for Monday Night Raw. If I was to give Monday Night Raw anything, I would give it this episode of Monday Night Raw. I was going to give it because it wasn't nothing really bad on the show. Even the little 24/7 segment was actually good because the little tension between Carmella and Dana Brooke was okay. But I was going to give it like an 8, but this is going to go down to a 7 just because of the fact that I didn't like one that I didn't like was that how petty and unprofessional WWE was and bashing Sasha and Naomi on national TV like that. I feel like that was very unprofessional of them. But you let me know in the comments down below what you thought of this episode of Monday Night Raw and what you thought of what's your thoughts on Sasha and Naomi leaving Monday Night Raw. And as always, if you enjoyed this video, then you hit that button right there in the upper right corner for all of my WWE reviews. And if you enjoyed this video so much you want to support the channel, all you gotta do is hit that like, subscribe, share, hit that notification so I do all those great things, because I enjoy your feedback, and your feedback helps me do this even better. And as always, hit me on these videos for more of my amazing content, but don't go anywhere because I got some more gameplay. WWE, speaking of WWE 2K22 gameplay coming your way, and maybe some Dying Light too.